Hi, as you may know, we as Strumenta work remotely. We have always worked remotely since the company start, and that was before the pandemic. And now we are seeing many discussion about remote work and a lot of companies pushing back. And while I don't have a super strong opinion about this, it's not a matter of identity. I think there is something to consider, and that is the importance of specialization. And let me start by an example that is unrelated to what we do. It's not related software, but in the weekends I like to go in some village up in the mountains near to where I am. I'm in Turin, so surrounded by the Alps. And when you go in some of these villages, there are a few shops and a few different kind of services, and it's normal to find a restaurant that is also a bar that also sell newspapers. So in their little town they try to provide as many services as possible, and so in that case proximity is important, because especially because there are a lot of people maybe are a little bit older or cannot drive, or in the winter there is snow. So it's important to have uh, services that are close by, but these services are not specialized at all. So maybe this restaurant that also sell newspaper sells a few newspaper, the most common ones. Is extremely different from a specialized shop like we have in Turin. For example, there is a bookshop that also sell newspaper that is called Luxembourg, and they sell books and newspaper in other languages, so in French, English, Spanish, whatever. So that is a very niche service, and there is just one in my area. Probably there is one in this region, a bookshop that is specialized in books in other languages, right? And so I think there is this differentiation between something that has the advantage of being close and do a little bit of everything, and something that serves a bigger audience and then is more specialized. And I think this is relevant for what we do, because we as a company are extremely specialized. We do not do software development. If you ask us to build a web app or an app for your phone, or I don't know, a crude application or whatever, we'll probably say, no, that's not what we do. We're specialized in software language engineering. But we cannot be specialized and at the same time serve a closed market. One, because we wouldn't survive, and two, because we wouldn't acquire the necessary expertise and competence that you acquire by doing a lot of projects. So we cannot say, our strong point is that we serve the market in Turin, in Piedmont, or even in Italy. So we have clients from everything. We had over time clients from every single continent. And because of this, we could acquire the necessary expertise. The drawback is that we are not particularly close to any of these clients. And thinking about this, because tomorrow I'm going to visit a potential client based in Turin. It's the first time many years of business that I visit a client before we have a contract in place. It happens that I visit some clients, some important clients, when we have a long-term relationship. And so, yeah, I think that if you want specialists, you need to take them where they are. And at that point, depending on the size of the project, it makes sense to collaborate remotely. Because if you are a company in the United States and we are doing a mid-sized project, we could visit you. We will probably spend more money in paying for the travel expenses than for the project if the project is relatively small. So doesn't make sense. So in this case, if you want to have access to specialists, then you need to work with them remotely. But if we as a company work remotely with our clients, then at that point it makes also sense to collaborate remotely internally. Also, for similar reasons, we need to have access to people that are interested into this niche subject, that want to work in this field, and they are not so common. So we need to hire them where we can find them. And so in our case, we have colleagues in Ireland, Portugal, Spain, and Italy. So I'm not considering now the aspects that the aspect of work-life balance, or maybe the problem with the difficulty of collaborating when we are working remotely, and just focusing on one aspect. If you want to have access to specialization, the only real solution to get access to the specialization is by collaborating remotely. And so for us, it's a given that we need to work remotely. It's not even an option. We can decide if we want to meet a little more frequently for some regular in-person meetings, but that's basically it. So yeah, I think wanted just to say that remote working, choosing to work remotely or not is an option only if you are providing generic services. If you're a specialist, that's the only option, I think. So I would be curious to hear your thoughts on this, and thank you, and see you soon. Bye.